Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Tyler Merkovich alongside Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and we have an SEC matchup on our hands, a cross-divisional matchup right here. Teams that rarely meet, South Carolina at Alabama, and give credit where credit is due. Steve Spurrier and defensive coordinator Lorenzo Ward have turned this defense around for the Gamecocks. Eric Norwood, one of the best linebackers in the country, and safety Darian Stewart man up the Gamecocks' defense. But Alabama is looking like a top 2 team in the nation with that defense led by Rolando McClain. And Greg McElroy, the quarterback, is playing safe, protective football, not turning the football over. And of course, you got to mention the running back Mark Ingram, who is having a dominant season. But what are your keys to victory for the Gamecocks to go into Tuscaloosa and pull this huge upset off?
Well, the keys to victory for South Carolina, that offensive line has to show up this week. They have to play big because they've given up 15 sacks, and that's not a good number for a team like Alabama coming in, because they're licking their chops. They want to get after Garcia and frustrate him and put him on the ground, so that O-line has to hold up this week. And number 2, I look at the matchup, Carolina's wide receiver Mo Brown versus the entire Bama secondary. They're going to move Mo Brown around to get matchup problems. He's going to have to go against Arenas and everybody like that. So he's going to have to make those plays, because Garcia is going to have to get the ball out quick, because Alabama will come with that pressure. So Mo Brown has to get his head around real quick and catch those balls to help move the chains, to loosen up that defense, and then they might be able to sneak the running game in there.
Well, you mentioned Mo Brown, but true freshman Alshon Jeffrey is gaining chemistry with Steven Garcia as he had 3 scores against Kentucky this weekend. And for Alabama, you know what? Greg McElroy, he's not forcing the ball to Julio Jones, because he's got other outlets like tight end Colin Peake, who's having a great year in that offense. What are your keys to victory for Nick Saban?
Well, I'm going to take a little bit of different approach with Alabama. It's not keys to victory with Alabama. It's more like, I'm going to throw some numbers out at you. 5.2 versus 3.5. Alabama averages 5.2 yards a carry. South Carolina gives up 3.5 yards a rush. Something's got to give. So that's a key matchup to watch. So Bama wants to run the ball to set up the pass. Can South Carolina withstand that downward pressure that they're going to bring with that running game with Richardson as well as with Ingram? You know, Alabama really can go 4 deep with their running back depth chart. Also, McElroy versus Garcia. That's another big matchup. I'm going to take McElroy in that matchup because he's more battle-tested. Garcia still has some question marks. Even though he's completing 60%, 61% of his passes, you have to like the mettle of Greg McElroy and the way he protects the football he doesn't make errant throws. If nothing's there, he throws the ball away. And if he gets sacked, he knows how to protect the football. I like Alabama in this matchup. They're a little bit more balanced right now than South Carolina, and that defense is a little bit more aggressive than the Gamecocks defense. Although this will be a close game, because this is going to be a fight.
Be careful, Crimson Tide here, but Alabama may be the best team in the country. Florida would have to say something to that, but if these guys match up, that could be your national championship game right there.
Exactly.
Crimson Tide, a lot to lose. Be careful, but we both like Alabama. For more, visit footballgameplan.com/NCAA.